Hello, members of the PokeUnionHD. My name is Championmarx, and it is an honor and a privilege to be narrating a battle for you on this collab channel today. For this battle, I will be giving you a mixed tier match that I had with one of my friends over Skype, whose name is Maslo. I do not remember if he has a channel or not. I will ask him, and if he does, it will probably be in the description, as well as my own. But anyway, I will do a team preview thing now. Let's see. I'm not really too worried about hazards on his team, because he doesn't have anything that can set up rocks. However, he does have Excelgor, which can set up spikes, which is a small problem, but since I'll probably be able to KO him in 2 hits, he'll really only be able to get 1 layer up at best, especially if I'm leading off with Dugtrio, which I plan to, in order to get up rocks. Other threats on his team, that Arcanine is a big one, because I don't really have anything that can take a Flare Blitz, but thankfully Flare Blitz will be eating up its own health, so it'll kill itself eventually. And that Lucario there is a problem too, because if it carries Crunch, then it's going to be a big problem, since I have 3 things weak to Dark on my team. Yeah, both of our teams were sort of just thrown together of random shit because we just wanted to have a battle. So yeah, I ended up having 3 Pokemon weak to Dark, which wasn't all that good. But anyway, aside from that, he doesn't look like he has anything that's Choice Scarfed, which is good for me because that means that my Magmortar can outrun everything on his team because it is Scarfed, and nothing on his team is commonly Scarfed. Maybe that Raichu. Maybe. But, yeah, that's about it, so now let's actually get into that battle. So, to start off the battle, my opponent Maslo is going to be leading off with his Excelgor, as I'm going to be leading off with my Dugtrio. I'm just going to try and set up the rocks first turn, as I was assuming that he would want to set up the spikes, because it's Elite Excelgor, and I would think that it would want to, get some entry hazards out, but he just goes straight off the Giga Drain, so I'm guessing he's probably just 4 attacks with a Focus Sash, because, yeah, I guess Maslo just likes to play that way with no hazards, but whatever. I'm just going to go off the Stone Edge, try and get as much damage on this Excelgor as possible. I am going to bring it down to its Focus Sash, which is good, because that means I'll be able to easily revenge kill it later, as he's going to go for the Giga Drain and get that super game-changing critical hit on my 27 HP Dugtrio. And now I'm just going to go out into my Metagross so that I can revenge kill this thing with the Bullet Punch, because my Metagross is Choice Banded, so, it carries the Bullet Punch for stuff, although I'm pretty sure other Metagross carry Bullet Punch, but whatever. In's gonna come his Arcanine, which is not very good, because Metagross does not appreciate taking Flare Blitzes, and being locked into Bullet Punch, I really can do nothing to this Arcanine, so I'm just gonna switch into my Jellicent, because while this thing is specially defensive, it's really the only thing that I have that can even potentially take a Flare Blitz thanks to its water typing. But good thing is, he loses like half his health from Recoil and Life Orb, which is pretty good, because that means that it's going to be a lot easier to kill this thing. And he unfortunately does have the Wild Charge, and is going to be able to just 2-hit KO my Jellicent, no problem whatsoever. However, since my Jellicent does have the absurdly high HP that it does, Recoil plus Life Orb, like I said, is going to rack up and take away a lot of his health. And now, I will just be able to go into my Choice Scarf Magmortar, outrun him. Surprisingly, he doesn't go for extreme speed. I guess he doesn't care to carry it or something, but whatever. I just KO him with a Psychic. And in's gonna come his Starmie. I do not want to stay in on this thing, because I'm locked into Psychic, so I really don't appreciate taking Hydro Pumps, and I can't switch up to Thunderbolt, so I can't really hurt this Starmie. I'm just going to go into my Celebi to take the Hydro Pump, because really, Celebi, it's special defensive, and Starmie, while it does have good special attack, it's not amazing, so even if he isn't choiced, I can still take quite a few Ice Beams. As I'm just going to go for the Thunder Wave, expecting him to switch out, or to potentially paralyze his Starmie while it's in, because, even though it has Natural Cure, having it paralyzed on the field is still a good thing. As Lilligant's going to come in, it's going to take the Paralysis, which is really good, gets a potentially huge threat just completely eliminated from the field, because now even if it did have, like, Quiver Dance and Sleep Powder and stuff, it's going to be slower than all of my Pokemon unless it gets +6 Quiver Dances, so it's really not any threat anymore. As I just go for a Psychic for some damage, and he's going to switch out into his Lucario for some reason to take the Psychic, and it's really not going to take it very favorably since Lucario is not exactly known for being the bulkiest fucker alive. However, the potential of him carrying Crunch is still more than enough to be able to scare out my Celebi, because I really want to keep that thing for his Starmie later in the game. So I'm going to go to my Claydol, as I'm going to take a hell of a lot from that Crunch. That did like 60% or something. And surprisingly, as he's going to go for another Crunch, I'm going to live it on 6 HP actually, and be able to KO him with the Earth Power. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that that was some min-max damage variations right there, because first Crunch definitely looked like it would have taken me out with the second hit, but I guess that's damage roll for you. So my Claydol gets to live for at least one more turn and be able to KO his Lucario. As in is going to come in his Starmie. He's going to go for the Ice Beam, you know, pretty safe play. Could hit my Celebi on the switch, and really don't want to be missing those Hydro Pumps. And now, I'm just going to go back into my Metagross. I'm going to go for the Meteor Mash, because it is the strongest thing they have to hit this Starmie, because my entire moveset is resisted by Starmie, since all I carry is Steel moves, Zen Headbutt, and Hammer Arm. And Maslow's just going to fodder off his Lilligant, which it's a pretty good play, since Lilligant is paralyzed. It's really not going to do anything in this match. And in's going to come this Raichu. I want to keep my Metagross at as high HP as possible, because while it isn't a defensive Metagross, it still has HP EV, so it can take one hit at least. And I do have a good switch into this Raichu in my Celebi, as I'm going to take the Thunderbolt. Sadly, I'm going to get paralyzed, but it doesn't really matter, because it is a defensive Celebi, and it has Natural Cure and stuff, so the Paralyze doesn't bother it too much. As I believe I go for a Leech Seed here, predicting his switch out into Starmie, because I wanted to be able to get some HP back, as he was going to go for some Ice Beams and stuff, because I'm not really sure what this Starmie is going to be, what its item is yet. As it could be Scarfed, it could be Specs or something. I really don't know, because all of its hits that it's used so far have KO'd my Pokemon in one shot, so I really don't know what to expect of this thing. Well, except for that Hydro Pump, I guess. But he gets the Ice Beam, gets a crit on me, which does a hell of a lot to my Celebi, and I was thinking from the damage that it did, even though it was a crit, I was thinking maybe this Starmie was Spexed, but turns out later in the match that it's not even choiced at all, which means that Maslo is bluffing pretty well. And anyway, he's going to take out my Celebi. I'm going to go into Metagross because I was assuming that this thing was choiced in some way, but it turns out that he's like Expert Belt or something, because he switches up to the Hydro Pump and does a fuck ton to my Metagross. Thankfully, because of the massive HP investment I am able to take the Hydro Pump, retaliate with the Zen Headbutt, and take out his Starmie, which leaves one Pokemon left on his team, his Raichu, which it's going to be faster than my Metagross, because Metagross is slow as all hell, so it is never going to be able to outspeed this Raichu. It's going to take the Thunderbolt, and sadly is going to go down, but I do still have one Pokemon left, which is my Magmortar. It is Scarfed and will be able to outrun his Raichu, and Raichu is not going to be able to take a Fire Blast ever. So that's pretty much the end of the game. That's GG Maslo, and thank you PokeUnionHD for letting me narrate.